Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the Psychic Academy. And again, today is our community day. So what we're going to do very firstly is we're just going to go around the virtual circle here and just introduce ourselves. Again, we do have a new member with us today at the Psychic Academy. So I'm going to go ahead and begin, then we'll just go all the way down, following down the line until we get to N. So hello everybody, my name is Brad Johnson. I am the facilitator of the Psychic Academy and the founder of the Psychic Academy, etc. Whatever you want to call me is fine. And I've just been really, really excited these past couple of months for how the Psychic Academy has grown. Met some really amazing people and still meeting some really incredible people here. I've had some people that have come and gone just in regards to where they feel they are in life, and that's absolutely fine, but the door is always open. But again, there's just a lot of things that we're exploring. There's really any area that you want to look into, we look into. We do certainly follow forms of curriculums, but we are also very open to open suggestion of areas that you want to look into very deeply and are able to basically bring a very strong personal and group capacity in that type of learning. So again, thank you everybody for being a part of the Psychic Academy family and being here and sharing your presence with all of us. So why don't we go ahead now and move over to Sergey. And Sergey, you can say who you are, maybe what you do, and what brought you to the Psychic Academy.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Sergey, and I've been with Psychic Academy for about a month, but I've taken other classes with Brad before. And what brought me here is, I would say, one of the main things for me, besides the theoretical knowledge, is also the hands-on experience. Because I've been reading different things about psychic phenomena and like extraterrestrials and all those interesting things for quite some time, but I wanted to have some hands-on experience, so Psychic Academy really worked for me in this way, because it's a really good, I would say, way to try what you learn. And a lot of people who try to do something hands-on, they experience doubt, and like a lot of people experience, I would say, challenges with self-trusting, and for me it was a big challenge, and now I'm getting better and better at it, and I feel like this experience actually improves my abilities quite a lot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that really brings up a big point as well too, which I think is what I can feel is a very good conversation today, is psychic philosophy and really being able to maintain psychic ability as well too. Because there's days where I have my on days and I have my off days. There's days where I've actually felt like I've done sessions and I didn't really feel like I was connected to source too much. I felt like I was still very, very grounded and I wasn't opening my energies a lot. So there have been days like that. And so I think we're really going to look a lot into psychic philosophy today and just look into exactly how we can maintain a lot of that connection and, you know, self-doubt and all that as well too. So it's very good that you brought up those points. So it's like you're reading the collective consciousness of the room right now. So very good. So let's welcome to Psychic Academy. We have a new student today, so we're basically just going around the circle and introducing ourselves. So Celissa, I'll just come to you, and then we'll move to Patty. Celissa, if you just want to introduce yourself and maybe what you do and what brought you to the Academy.
Sorry, microphone. Hi, new student. I don't know your name.
That's Tamikia. Tamikia.
Okay. Hi. What brought me here? It's a reconnection for me to get deeper into what I already had, and I'm going to be combining much more with sacred circuitry and offering it more on a healing level, because I'm into mandala. I am a mandala artist, but I'm not out there yet. I'm just barely getting known, only in really tiny circles. But my art is nice and so on and so forth. I have a different approach. So I want to just expand and bring more energy work, because that's what I've done.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you, Celissa. And is that some of your mandala in the background, like the one that's just above the computer screen? Is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
One of them.
the one in the lampshade, I think, as well.
Which one? The one that I did for Khalil. Well, actually, this is for Willany.
Oh wow.
But I realized that I can't do the mantras with the design. It takes away. but sacred circuitry works very, very nicely in a mandala. It's got the energies and it's got the right flow. So I'm learning what I can and cannot have incorporated. But yes, I'm specializing in small format. So, but on a 6x6, it starts off, small, and we'll perfect it even more.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's great as well too. Like my sacred circuitry is almost like ancient language. Yours is a lot like fractal, fractal alchemy or fractal mandala. So very
whatever I'm just a vessel for it. So whatever.
Yeah, we all have different styles.
But however.
Exactly. It's great too. I mean, you have to have that kind of artistic talent to a mandala. If a person can't.
Yeah, I have one for you, but it's not complete. They have one for you, but it's complicated. It's not there yet.
You're probably
yeah.
All right, great. Excellent. Thank you, Celissa. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to Patty.
Hi, Tamika. I do quantum healing hypnosis therapy. I'm a wellness advocate for essential oils, and I sing. And I love information. I love information. I'm always looking for new information, but I don't usually sit still enough to really soak a topic in. I go from one to another, and for the last couple of years, I've been being told everything I'm looking for is already within. So I was really thankful that Ann told me about this class. I've been with him for a couple weeks because it's in a setting where you get feedback and where you are quiet and you have that opportunity to listen to the information that you're being given. Because usually I know I get things, but I pass them along. So I'm like so thankful for this venue to get feedback and to have the time to be quiet and to start to learn to listen and see the images or hear what information is coming. So really love this thing. I'm thankful for this forum.
Exactly. And Patty's pretty new to Psychic Academy as well too. I think she's only been with us for a couple of weeks. So Patty, you and Tamika are the new students. So again, thank you both for being here. All right, great. So let's move on to Tamika. Tamika, if you want to share yourself and maybe what you do and what brought you to the Academy.
Sure, I would share. Well, my name is Tamika, and I'm a homemaker. And what brought me here was all the things that I've been through in my life. Oh, it's been hard and it's been confusing. And I just recently awakened last year around, and oh my God, I'm nervous. But I just recently awakened back in July of last year, and it's just like, oh my God, it just all clicked. And it's just like, how do I keep from going crazy? It's like I can no longer look at the world the same way. It's like everything I believed it's like I'm standing on nothing. Like, where do I go? Like, I'm just here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many questions I have about everything, and I've always been, I don't know, attracted to the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know, well, why is that? I always had questions. Well, why is it like this? Well, why is it just why? But I'm running on. But yeah, I'm Tamika. My heart is beating fast. Oh my God.
It's all the love in the space, right?
But I am so thankful to be here. I really am. And I just want to learn as much as I can in order to help other people.
Great. Excellent.
That been through.
Exactly. That's why we're all here.
Been through.
That's why we're all here. We're looking into a lot of these deep. And the whole idea is it's always a continual learning. We're going to learn something really profound one day, and then there'll be something even more profound the next day as well too. And you just do it at your own pace. If you feel that you just attend 1 or 2 classes per week, that's great. Whatever you feel is at your own pace. We also have a Facebook group that I'll add you to as well too. It's a Facebook group called the Psychic Academy Student Group. So after the class today, I'll just add you to that, and you can go ahead and mingle with all the students. All the students are there. And anything you have any questions with, if it's something that you're still very curious with, if it's psychic ability or what have you, you're more than welcome just to post questions there or post ideas, and the community is really open and welcoming, and they will respond. Okay, great, excellent. Thank you again, Tamika, for being here. It's really great. Let's go ahead now and move on to no problem. Let's go ahead and move on to Gail now.
Well, I see her name being Coca-licious. So hello, Coca-licious. How are you doing? I'm so glad that you're here and helping us co-create wonderful memories. I'm here to enhance my psychic gifts, and since I've been here since day 2 of the Academy. I've done previous classes with Brad in online events. I've grown a lot. I'm actually ready to open up a heart healing business. I just came up with Divine Heart Healing Direct from Source as the name. But since I've been involved in this class, it's given me the confidence to go ahead and move what I know is true. And even today, my my affirmation is going to be along the lines of what we're talking about this morning, how like self-doubt can get in, creep in, and it has a body and a form all of its own. And we deal with that from time to time. But staying connected with this class really does help eliminate that. And I feel as though I'm getting stronger and I'm having more confidence. And I also am a non-smoker since I quit smoking, and it seems like the flow is much more clearer. And it's only been a couple of weeks, but it's made a profound difference. And just welcome. I think you're going to love it here. We're a great bunch of people, if I don't say so myself.
We are indeed, absolutely. And I think that's great as well, too, because this is really giving you the shining example about how you're noticing that certain things are just starting to elevate and change around you. It's basically that when you've gone into the darkness so long and then you finally come into the light, you're now seeing how you're purified. It's basically that when we go into the deepest trenches of the world and the deepest trenches of reality, and we finally find our way out and we finally are able to move into the light, now we're able to see exactly, oh my goodness, look how refined I feel, look how pure I feel now, because I've come from all of that space in the past, and now I've transcended into the light, and now look how everything is right now. That's a beautiful moment. That's exactly why we're here, because when we finally step into that light and realize something, oh my God, that's why I went to the whole darkness in the first place, so I could experience this moment, so I could see what it's like to actually be refined and purified. That's it. That's the whole idea right there. So very good example too. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I guess David's having computer problems. He's jumping in on that, so hopefully he's okay. But anyways, we'll move on to Anne. So Anne, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, Tamika. Is it with T? Because it's showing up as a K on your picture. Is it Tamika?
Huh?
Tamika.
With a T. Tamika.
Tamika.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Welcome. I think you'll really enjoy it. My name is Anne. I am a board-certified reflexologist that happens to have energy just pouring through whether I want it to or not, so I have to incorporate that in my practice. And I do quantum healing hypnosis with Patty. I actually had 2 very interesting sessions this weekend that I'm going to bring up in a little bit. But I had about 7 years of going it alone and plowing new ground in the middle of this Bible Belt of the South in North Carolina that I live in. And so I'd always been looking for a guru, a mentor, just somebody to connect to tell me what I'm seeing, feeling, is okay, other people to give me feedback. And so finding Brad and this has just been a blessing. I've been here about 5 weeks. And it's just amazing to be able to speak out and say what's coming through, and then in a and you don't have the judgment around it. People thinking you're crazy or whatever's going on, and it's just so open and non-judgmental. It allows you to open and let the energy just flow through you and talk about whatever is coming through and whatever comes up. So it's really been a blessing. And it's a beautiful family. I just feel so connected to everybody. I feel like I could call anybody and say to you anything I wanted to. and you would be willing to help and listen. So welcome.
Great, excellent. Thank you so much, Ann. Again, it's beautiful, and I just love the energy of the group as well, too. We have an amazing bunch of people here. So. Very good. Okay, so hopefully if David comes back in, then we'll get him to introduce himself. But in the meantime, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go into affirmations. So, Tamika, what this basically is that every class, usually we start off with a meditation and we go into affirmations after that. But since we're kind of short on time today, we're just going to go into affirmations. So basically the affirmation format is something I'm just going to write down right now, but it's basically two parts. The two parts basically represent part one is that we're looking into a challenge. We see a certain challenge within our life right now. We may be going something on a daily basis and we're noticing that, maybe it's hard for me to have focus, maybe it's hard for me to love more, maybe it's hard for me to see my value, etc. That would represent the idea of a challenge. And as we admit that challenge through our affirmation, now we are also bringing the second part of the affirmation, which represents solution, or a goal towards a solution. So if I was to basically demonstrate this, saying that, if I was creating some I am statements, and if I'm saying I am love, I am peace, I am harmony, and then I look back at that one word, if I say love, okay, do I feel that 100% all the time I feel love? No, not really. I can feel that there's those challenges with that. So that would be an example of a challenge. I realize that I'm not always a loving person. So that would represent the idea of an affirmation statement of challenge. And then I would say, however, I acknowledge the fact that I have the capability to explore love in the deepest ways possible for me to become more of a loving person. That's great. So that's really the idea of the affirmations that we do here. It's kind of like a yin and yang type of affirmation that we do. And this is basically giving us the idea for us to, on a subconscious level, really become a lot more stable with ourselves. We're actually becoming a lot more used to actually admitting to where there's challenges and to admitting where we feel at fault. And then we're being able to transform that into a type of solution. So it's not about feeling that you have to be guilty or anything like that, but you're just noticing that you're befriending your vulnerability. So when you're really looking into challenge, you're admitting the vulnerability that you have not yet allied with. And when you're actually admitting that, now you can move it into the second part, again, looking into the yin energy or the yang energy and saying, okay, I realize I'm not a very loving person. However, I know love is all around me, and I have the capability to become more of a loving person. So that's giving you the idea of a goal or a solution representing the affirmation itself. So that's basically the type of format that we do. However, if you feel that you just have a basic affirmation that you want to share for today's class, anything that you've heard or anything that you feel you use personally, by all means feel free. But usually we just like to do this nice type of format relating to affirmation because, again, this will really help you to befriend your admittance and befriend your vulnerability and really feel, really empowered with yourself. So Tamika, I'll come to you last today. So I'll go ahead and start my affirmation. Then we'll go to Celissa and all the way down to Ann, and then we'll and Tamika, if you want to have an affirmation for today, you're more than welcome to at the end. So I will go ahead and begin. So I realize that, again, I'm still working on my sleeping pattern, still attempting to wake up in the morning. I actually did wake up a little bit earlier this morning, so that's good. But I still realize that I'm still attempting to rise up a little bit earlier to get a good start on the day, and realize that at times I can be a little bit sluggish in that area. However, I realize that with enough focus and enough intention to do so, that I can wake up early, enjoy the sunshine, and really get the day started with some really positive energy and flowing abundance to come through. Okay, so why don't we move over to Celissa? Don't stay up late. Yeah, it's true. That's hard to do. It's easier said than done. I'm like a night owl. It's not that I'm too late. I'm maybe like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm in bed, right? So, but yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Gail.
Sounds like me. Oh yes, I'm not much of a morning person. However, being in day 5 of my 21 days of gratitude things I'm doing, I acknowledge that I will shift into liking being up earlier, go earlier. Like I can get up at 8 o'clock, but I won't be fully functional till 10. But I tune in a lot automatically, so maybe that's what it is. However, today I acknowledge that I got through the yoga. Yay, it was a mini one, but it felt better. So I will endeavor to continue.
Excellent. Beautiful. Well done.
Add something else.
That's great. Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Sergey. Sergey, your affirmation for today.
I realize that I still pretty often expect things to go in a certain way, and if they don't, I get frustrated. But I also realize that I only see the small fraction of the implications of the event, and most of the implications are unseen, and they can be quite positive, and that's my choice to experience the positive side or the negative side of the event. And if I experience it negatively, again, it's because of my choice rather than because it's actually is negative.
Powerful as well too. Thank you, Sergey. Okay, let's move on to Patty.
I recognize that I am not getting up and out the door to exercise and commune with nature right away, as is my goal. However, I am moving around a lot more in the house, and I have a lot of indoor plants, and I'm connecting with them, and I know I'm another step closer. I affirm that I am getting closer and closer to getting out first thing in the morning, exercising, communing with nature, and sun gazing, and starting my day out like that.
Very good. That's beautiful. And that's something I love to do as well too, getting to sun gazing. Wait till the sun rises or the sun sets. The best time. Yeah. Great. Excellent. Thank you, Patty. All right. Let's move on to Gail.
Okay. I acknowledge I don't always think positively, and that I'm not always in control of my thoughts. I realize that negative thinking, lack of, or that mentality, is not beneficial to my growth. This is old behavior that I don't choose to go back to. It's not where I want to be. I am perfect, and I have no lack. And so it is.
There you go. That is awesome. Awesome affirmation. Thank you so much, Gail. Beautiful. All right, let's move on to David. David, your affirmation for today.
Okay, hi. I acknowledge that sometimes I can be a little bit uncomfortable when my technology does not work, like my internet, but I realize that everything can happen for a positive reason, and when it happens, it can be an opportunity to be centered and in a neutral point.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah, I noticed you're dropping internet, so it might just be, it's kind of like that day we're having those fluxes with internet. It's just one of those days, right? So
yes.
You might have some coronal mass ejections going on or something like that, maybe some CMEs or something. It's interrupting with the signals. That does happen. All right, thank you again, David. Okay. And let's go ahead and move on to Anne.
I acknowledge that I am not always patient with people who I do not consider to be as open as me on things that to me seem very clear as far as the nature of reality and so forth. And I tend to want to move past them, get out of the conversation, not deal with it because I know it's going to take a lot of time, and I don't want to debate. Not that I debate, but it's just something I try to avoid sometimes. And I'm acknowledging that the universe is not allowing me to do that. They keep being put back in front of me, and when I take the time in a loving way to slowly start talking about whatever it is they're interested in, a problem or whatever, I start watching them actually become more open and more interested and more engaging. And if I just wouldn't have the impatience around it, it would flow a little easier.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. Absolutely. Again, very good affirmation as well today. Affirmation's getting better and better. It's excellent, guys. Doing great work here. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and move on to Tamika. Tamika, did you have any type of affirmation that you would like to share? I know she said you're having some sound problems, but hopefully you can hear.
No, I don't have what I want to share at the moment.
Okay. Or you could say, hey, I'm at the Psychic Academy. It's good to be here. There's an affirmation. Exactly. No, that's okay. That's okay. It's something you can always work on to next week. But again, this is just kind of like the format of the affirmation as well, too. Just admitting your challenge and then being able to follow up together with the solution altogether. So again, thank you so much, Tamika, for being here today. All right, guys. So now we're going to get into our main discussion. Before we get into again kind of community conversation, we'll also have people who want to do readings for anybody. What you'll do later on is that if you guys do have a reading for a certain person, just feel free to share. Once we get to that point, we're basically just going to have kind of an open reading, open circle kind of a conversation today as well. So for today, again, a lot of it is really based on psychic philosophy. If we're going really back into the beginnings of the Psychic Academy, a lot of our class focused on that. It was really looking into the beginnings about how we can actually attune ourselves into psychic ability and what is it really to be psychic. And so when we go back into those feelings, we kind of look into when we first started to discover these gifts, when we started looking to our abilities. And a lot of this happens when we're kids. When we're little kids, you know, it feels like we're running around the backyard. We're running over to our mom and saying, "Mommy, I see an angel over by the tree," or "the tree was talking to me," you know, or you're getting these visions and you're attempting to, you know, express what it is that you're seeing. So very, very commonly, with the thousands of people that I've worked with all over the world, I'd say about 95% of them had these experiences at childhood and were then suppressed because the parents, the education, everything representing their reality was saying, "No, it's time to shut down. You need to be real, you need to be practical, stop being crazy. Enough with imaginary friends, enough of the angels behind the tree, enough with saying the trees are trying to talk to you, etc., etc. So you're being crazy, this is not happening." And so what happens is that we are open with such amazingly powerful, beautiful psychic ability at a young kid. Again, about 95% of the people I've talked to have had those experiences. The 5% that haven't, actually I felt that they were psychic, they just didn't know that they were. And that was kind of my experience as well too, is that I was very psychic, but I did not know that I was because I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. And we weren't supposed to go there. You know, we weren't meant to go into psychic ability. You weren't supposed to talk about that. You know, it was only God that was the powerful one. We were just, you know, his servants in that sense. And so, you know, that really was just discouragement. And so that's really what has prevented us from being able to look into how we can become, you know, really empowered psychic beings. But just really being able to be psychic is to, again, tune into the senses of the natural world. That's it. Really, a lot of us have just been in trance relating to a mechanical world, a world that is mechanical, that only functions and thrives upon 5 senses in regards to what you can see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. But really, with this whole sense, we've actually missed what is actually the most important sense of all, and that's the sense of nature, being able to actually feel the earth around you, being able to feel the energies of spirit around you, being able to feel the plants and the animals, everything that's around you that can naturally communicate with you. And this is what's known as the reality body. Now, I am actually writing a second book to Rainbow Wisdom right now, and it's going to be talking a lot more about the reality body. Hey, this is something you can get on my website. Order now, right? But the second book is actually going to be about 3 or 4 times bigger than that. And it's really talking about the reality body as well and how everybody can communicate with us. Everything that surrounds you right now, from your computer, from your desk, from your floor, from your walls to your ceiling, are open to communication. Outside, going to a sidewalk, going to a road, putting your hand on a road, you can actually communicate with the road. You can talk to the sidewalk. How is this possible? Because everything is created through consciousness. And because everything is created through consciousness, it's able to communicate with us because we are its creators. It doesn't say, well, you know, I think those construction workers made it. You know, I didn't really make it. Of course you made it. You know, you're part of functioning within a co-creation. You're co-creating everything. Every single thing that's on this planet is a part of you because it is all of us that is creating it. By simply being here on this planet, by simply being here in the star system, by simply being here in this galaxy, by simply being here in this universe, you are a universal co-creator. Everything is yours. And that's the fun thing about it. We're all connected to each other. We all have these cords. We all have these strings. We all have these particular connections that are helping us to open up a lot more. So to be a psychic being, or to be one who is psychic or really looking into interpretation, we're looking into the psi ability. We're not just looking into the idea of the mind, though. We're looking into the heart. We're looking into the spirit. So we're looking into a body, mind, heart, spirit connection all together. That really is the interface altogether. And so by being able to do that, we're just being listeners for the universe. And this is why when you're in the Psychic Academy that you're developing yourself into a universal psychic. So the type of psychic ability that is taught here is not traditional. It's not a traditional psychic. It's actually being able to show you a lot more of what is available. Because this represents a lot of different things. There's people who may want to access the Akashic Records. There's people who may want to become, you know, animal communicators. Maybe people who want to become really profound healers as well too. This is all possible, and this is being able to show you as much of the scope as possible from what we are able to understand and comprehend. So really, when we're looking into psychic philosophy, we're really looking into an adept listener, one who is able to listen to nature so well, one who is able to really connect in that way and being able to sense, I can feel that where the energies of time and space are taking me, where the energies of event are taking me. I'm now starting to understand the level of value. I'm now starting to understand equivalent exchange. And when I'm looking into equivalent exchange, that's basically telling me that the basis of equivalent exchange is that you can't get something out of nothing. And basically what that's saying is that if you already have a river full of water that represents fear and you want to have happiness, it can't compute. Equivalent exchange will only continue to give you more that represents fear, because that's all you're attuned to. If you want to be able to transcend into happiness, then the transcending will come by first admitting that you have fear within your heart. And they'll feel that fear is there and that you have been manifesting fear-based situations. And so when you're looking into that and saying that I realize now, I understand and I acknowledge now that fear is there because it's helped me to realize that I've been going into the same job that really has not paid enough in regards to my value, that I'm really not in alignment with a lot of the co-workers or the boss that I'm there. And now I'm starting to realize that. So now you're looking into how much water is being held into your own personal river of being. And now you're able to switch canals, and you're forgiving that aspect of yourself. And as you do that, that water of fear starts to drain out, and now the water of happiness starts to come in. Now equivalent exchange will represent the idea of how that loving water, that happiness water, will now start to come together. And the whole key is that when you have that water within yourself, it's not about holding it. As soon as you hold it there, like a dam, then basically what you're doing is you're attaching identity to it. It's really being able to see ourselves as like an empty vessel. So if we have water in this glass, we're always constantly drinking down that water. We're always allowing that water to flow through us so that we can remain as empty a glass as possible. That's the whole idea. You really want to function in this life to be an empty vessel. And so that when water does come through, it's like you have a few holes down the glass. You're just letting it drain and flow together through you and in and out. And that's the representation in regards to value. That's the representation in regards to thought forms. Thought forms are basically just aspects of streams of consciousness that we have adapted through energy to make into a certain type of imprint. This imprint just represents the idea of tasks, of personality, of behavioral instincts, etc. In regards to who we feel we are, identity, right? So thought forms themselves don't have to be seen as identity, but we have made them into identity because that's how we've been raised. We've been looking into being able to attach ourselves to certain beliefs, attach ourselves to certain concepts, because that's what we feel reality is. As long as we keep thinking that reality is finite, you will only continue to create more beliefs. That's the whole idea. If you feel that reality is fluid, and that it's always moving, and it's always in motion, that it's always circulating, and it's always moving differently in cycles, now you're understanding the big picture. Now you're understanding how reality is dynamic. Now you understand how you're evolving yourself into change. Now you're becoming an agent of change. Now you're realizing that everything in regards to reality is flowing just like this. It's like a flowing infinity symbol. And that's the whole idea. You want to have that type of mentality, especially as a psychic. You're going to meet all kinds of wonderful people, and you may even meet people who you feel may not be the best people as well too. But that's okay. It's being able to notice that, if I'm going into a jungle, I'll know the areas of the jungle that are really rich and harmonious with great energy, and I'll know the areas of the jungle that may have dead trees and spiders and snakes, right? Doesn't mean I'm going to walk into that area of the jungle, but I'm aware and I acknowledge that that part of the jungle exists, right? And that's the whole idea, is you're looking into Earth and you're realizing that you're just going on a constant journey through this gigantic jungle, and you're just being able to remember, what are the areas that I feel are the great spots? What are the areas that I really want to look at? Well, I'd like to go through, the middle of the forest where there's this beautiful meadow, and there's a creek there, and it's absolutely beautiful. And there's this nice house cottage, and everything there is just so serene and so beautiful. And that's really what I prefer. There may be people who decide to go into the dark areas of the jungle and battle the snakes and the spiders, right? So that's just all part of their journey. So we're really looking into the idea that to be psychic is to look into nature and being able to be called in certain areas. There'll be areas to where we feel that we want to go, and it may not turn out that way. And then there's areas that we never thought in a million years that we would go to, and that is actually the areas that pan out, because the heart is guiding us. The ego always thinks that there's going to be certain good things that's going to come along and say, oh, if you just go to this way, this is going to be great, it's going to be fantastic. You'll meet this person, you'll start this career, hey, it'll be great for you. You go ahead and you do that, and you're very disappointed because that's not coming from here, it's coming from here, right? So the whole idea is that when we're looking into what it is to be a psychic being, we're following more of this, and it comes down to the 3 key fundamental: openness, trust, interpretation. Right? So the more that you can just be open to the universe, have all ears open, letting yourself be allowing to all the information of the universe to come through you, and then trusting that information relating to what you are receiving and what your heart is telling you. So it's basically like having a very big ear placed right by the heart, and allowing the heart to guide you and say, here's all the information that's coming through. Now the heart is the filter. Now the heart is basically telling you, yes, you're getting all kinds of great information through opening. Now let's look into blazing a trail through the path of the ocean of openness that you're exploring. And now, in order for us to walk that path, we interpret it, right? So now we're taking action upon that form. And that is the 3 key fundamental to being a psychic facilitator, psychic intuitive, whatever you'd like to call yourself is fine. But being able to really look into those 3 key fundamentals, that's it. That's how simple it is. It seems simple. We have this gigantic cone of, about our crown chakra, our heart chakra is open, and we're receiving all of this information. And one may think, well, Brad, this is really, really simple, key fundamentals. They are. However, we complicate the hell out of it because we have to feel that there has to be, some type of belief system or protocol or method or practicum, something that I got to do because this seems too easy. What I have discovered in my 6 years, and again, I'm sure a lot of you have discovered this as well too, is the more that you just lay back, take down the defensive shields, and let the information flow as much as possible, the easier it will become. It will just represent the idea that if you perform easement, life becomes easy. Oh my God, that's too crazy a philosophy, right? Jeez. Right? But that's the whole idea, is that if you look into the idea of how easy life can be, easement will follow. If you feel complications in life, complications will follow. This is the science of the simple. This is obviousness, right? So looking into the idea about what can you do to make your life feel a little bit more simple. If you've complicated the heck out of it, then you need to look into the idea about finding out exactly what is it that I've complicated? What is it that I put so much energy and so much baggage into? And when you realize that and you come out of that area, this is where you become refined. This is where you become purified. This is where you notice that your psychic senses are just exploding like crazy. Whether you're clairvoyant, whether you're able to see visions, whether you're able to hear things, whether you're able to just get instantaneous knowing through claircognizance, whatever it may be, you'll notice that starts to purify because you came out of the shadows and now you're coming into the light. So again, really looking into the psychic philosophy is just being able to notice that through easement and through openness and trust and interpretation, that we can become incredible psychic beings. And we're just basically being called psychic because we listen and we respond to nature. That's the whole idea. Okay. All right. Any questions in regards to what we shared? No, we're good. I get this a lot too. Just as soon as I say something, no, okay, just shut up. Don't say anything. Brad's done. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's great. I'm just glad I'm able to kind of clear it in a good way. I try and paint a really nice picture for a lot of people to understand. But sometimes there may just be those burning questions that somebody may not get. And again, that's why we're here. It's just being able to look into anything that you feel is unclear. So why don't we go ahead now and just kind of go around the group and just being able to feel if anybody has any readings or any kind of inspirations as well too that they would like to share. Would anybody like to share anything right now in the open circle? Circle is now open. Go ahead. Any inspirations, any challenges that you're getting through? And then once we share that, we'll be getting into readings. But is there anything in regards to anything that anybody would like to share? Like, how has your past week been going? How's your past couple of weeks? Has there been any interesting things happening?
I have Yeah, go ahead. All right, so I'll do it then first.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a topic for discussion, like a small one, but planning versus trusting, because I would say, like most people, they're still planning their lives in certain ways, planning certain events, and it seems apparent that when consciousness progresses into like higher densities, they don't really plan anything. They're like so trusting. They just so in the now. They don't know what's gonna happen like in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So they just like now, and it just pops like it's like magic. I mean, things just coming up to them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a like similar experience. Like one day, I lived like that, and I just was like so surprised. It was like so magical. Like you don't know what you're doing, but it's like magic. Like things just opening up. But I wasn't able to repeat that. But and I guess my question will be like, how can you move a little bit more towards trusting when from planning? Because still, like most people, like I myself, like mostly planning because okay, tomorrow I have to do that, and it's kind of hard to like move from that mentality, even like a little bit, to like okay, I don't have anything to do, just like relax, things will show up. So do you have any like?
No, why that happens? Fear. That's the whole idea. There's something to protect. There's something to preserve. There's something to defend. There is something to uphold. There is something to attach. There is something to personalize yourself with. That's why. So as long as you have that, this really represents the defensive shields. So you're living in this cocoon, right? It's basically, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the movie Powder. The guy with like the white skin and all that stuff. There's a scene in that movie which really represents a very strong, profound thing, which is a good thing for this conversation as well too. And he's basically talking about how everybody is connected, how all the thoughts are basically interchangeable, that we can all communicate with this. And this girl sits beside him and saying, well, I can't see that I'm connected to some other person across the world. How come I can't see that? It's because you have this little spot right here, right? And really that spot represents the idea of a veil. And that veil is just representing the idea that we have obligations. And as long as we continue to have obligations, there will be people who will be planners. And again, there's nothing wrong with planning at all. There can be some very good benefits to planning. But the whole idea is if it's the feeling that if I don't plan, this consequence will happen. And that's the whole idea. If you want to plan, let it be something that is going to be in benefit to you, right? If it's going to be something that you want to plan and organize, let it be something that really represents your heart. But if we feel personally obligated and responsible for that which represents attachment, we have to do this, otherwise this is going to hurt. Go ahead and do it, of course. But you're noticing that a lot of these things that you're bringing your focus on is a necessity because you're not allowing yourself to realize what is it that serves me rather than what I have to do. So we're looking into the have to approach rather than the idea of the serving approach, right? So this is basically where just one step at a time, every little bit, is reminding yourself, what is it that I'm attempting to plan? And what is it that this is going to bring? Well, this is going to help bring me survival. This is going to bring me finances. Okay, so now I want to rethink the idea about exactly how is it that I'm attracting finances in my life. Do I have a job that I absolutely love? Oh, I hate my job to death. Well, that's the good way to start, right? So again, we have to take baby steps. Everything in life is baby steps. It's not about taking quantum leaps. If you take quantum leaps, 99.9% you're going to stumble, fall, and jump and fall off a cliff. Right? It's not about thinking that you can start at the ground level. You have this big 100-rung ladder and thinking that you can jump all the way to the top without touching a single rung. It's not going to happen, right? You have to take one rung at a time. So the whole idea here is that it's just looking into what you feel is an obligation in comparison to what is to what naturally lovingly serves. So again, it's being able to look into those areas and being able to create refinement to those areas as well. Again, look at equivalent exchange. What is equivalent exchange bringing you into the idea of your value? You feel that I'm stuck in this job, it's not paying very well, but it's helping to pay the rent, et cetera, but I just can't stand it, right? So equivalent exchange is telling you, all right, that's the exchange that you've given. In exchange for your own personal happiness, you have given yourself to this job which you do not like, right? So you need to look into the idea about how equivalent exchange can be more of a value on a higher level that follows more heart rather than the idea of logic.
Okay,
Makes
thank you.
sense?
Yep.
Okay, great, excellent. Thank you. And it's a very good question, Sergey, as well, too, because that's a very, very common one as well. Let's move on to, oh wait, okay, Anne popped off for a second. So we'll come back to Anne later. Does anybody else have any inspirations, sharings, challenges, questions? No? Okay. All right. Okay, so if Anne gets back online, then we'll get back to her. So what we're going to do right now, guys, is we're just going to open ourselves up into a reading. So Tamika, if you want to cooperate, if you want to participate in this, you're more than welcome to. I know, again, it is your first day, so I don't expect you to do any type of readings if you don't want to. Okay, Anne just popped back on. So before we get into that, why don't we go to Anne. Anne, did you have something that you wanted to share? she comes on here. There you go.
She's still connected.
Yeah, there you go. Anne, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
It's up and down. My computer's just up and down. It's crazy.
I know, everybody's having that today, right? Like I said, some CMEs or something.
Well, I didn't hear everything that Sergey said, but I know what the beginning part of it, yes. And I will say, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Because I just lost the screen. Yeah, I had to go through actually losing pretty much everything, and as I started losing it over, after my divorce and so forth, and the things I had, my real estate tanked in 2008, and I've been a very successful realtor, and then different things I tried to do, and then I ended up losing the townhome that I bought 4 years before, and all of this. And I was in a state of panic, trying to control everything. I was used to having, all my plans and, the finances lined up and everything. And it got to the point for me that, and I know now that I was being brought to where I am now. I didn't know it then. But literally, I would be terrified. What am I going to do? How am I going to handle all this? But the more things I lost and were taken away and the tighter I was clinging, eventually it got to where I'm just going, fine, take it all. I don't care. Once I got to that place, I actually started giving away things. I gave away some expensive things. And when I got to the point that I didn't have very much left, I do have some furniture and stuff, but then it was like you didn't care anymore. Once you didn't care anymore.
Oh, sorry, I think you froze. Okay. But again, I kind of get the impression of what she's saying as well too, right? It's just being able to look into the idea of the attachments that you still carry, and you're just realizing that there'll be a point where it just doesn't matter, right? And I come across many people like that, of just feeling that they used to cherish so many things, about their finances, about the property they had, all of that, and it'll just reach a point where it says it doesn't matter. I think one of the best things in life is that when you really start anew, when you start fresh, and you're able to really kind of revamp yourself all over again. That's really the key as well too. So really looking into the idea of saying, what can I do to start fresh? What if I had amnesia? I just woke up one morning, I didn't remember who I was, I don't remember what I did. In a way, to me, I feel that would be like one of the biggest blessings. Now you have a reboot, you have a restart to begin your entire life anew as well too. So it's almost like imagining that as well too. It's like, what can I do to imagine that I am starting life again for the very first time, that I'm experiencing all of these things again for the very first time altogether. Poor Anne. She's getting hit with all these things again. Man, it's crazy.
It's like hard to make the jump, because when you to you it looks like, oh man, it's like jumping off the cliff. So oh, who's gonna pay the mortgage tomorrow if you don't do that?
Yeah.
But when you see the actual logical, I would say, evidence that it works, especially when you watch a lot of, as I mentioned, high vibrating consciousness, how it's lines up, and I tried it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it works when you don't try it, when it's natural. But as soon as you're okay, I'm gonna do it just to see how it works, it doesn't work. But if natural, you don't think about it, then it works. It's probably as you said, little by little. Then it's more like working on your own belief system rather than testing the system. I mean, how things work. It's more like you prevent it to work, and if you feel comfortable to believe it that much, it will work that much for you. If you believe it a little bit more, basically the level of believability of yourself into things, that's what prevents or opposite shoots you through life.
It's just rethinking everything. If you feel you're paying an expensive mortgage, then does your house serve you? Is this a house that you really want to enjoy? Is this a house you still want to be a part of? Maybe this is giving me the indication that maybe it's time to move. Maybe it's time to go into maybe a bit of a smaller place that I feel is a lot more lenient to the idea of what I need to pay per month in regards to my finances. That's kind of a new concept right now, or maybe I say, oh, I just love my house, but maybe now it's about being able to look into a career that benefits me, right? So you're rethinking everything, and this is the whole idea, is really looking into that key word today, rethink. Rethink everything that you feel right now is complementary to your life, rather than in that sense has to be a mandatory decision or a feeling that you have to do this, an obligation altogether. So looking into the idea of rethinking over the idea of obligation. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and do some readings just around the circle. So if anybody has any particular form of messages, intuitively, psychically, that they would like to share with anybody, by all means, feel free.
Hi, Brad.
Okay.
I have a strong message for you.
Okay.
I feel that you are taking the first step to a totally new cycle, a really new cycle. I feel that is coming, and this year is just going to be the first step, and you are going to have a lot of new opportunities to create new methods, new techniques, to discover them. You are going to have, I feel that you are having a lot of new opportunities, new events with yourself personally, and I feel that the new cycle is going to bring you a lot of gifts, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of new innovations to create new techniques, new ways to communicate with other humans, and to program your physical body, your physical mind. So I feel that is really strong, and a hyper new cycle.
Yeah, no, you're very much right as well, too. Because like I said, I just got involved in a new relationship, and I just feel the changes happening all together right now, right? So on a relationship front, on a career front as well, too. It's funny, too, because my girlfriend is like, she's amazingly super psychic, right? So she's even saying, Brad, you're going to have your own TV show here in a little bit. You know, this is probably going to start happening around April or May. And I'm saying, yeah, Psychic Academy is going to take off in certain ways as well, too. A lot of other people are going to start running it, and I'll just kind of be, in the background seeing how it's going, right? But a lot of it is basically seeing this kind of like new TV show happening. I'm going to be doing something called Body, Soul, Spirit Expo here in April, and she's feeling like, yeah, that's the anchor, that's the big thing. You're going to get noticed there. Like, oh, okay,
yeah,
cool. So
yeah, I feel that is just the first step.
Yeah,
like the open door. Yeah.
Exactly. No, that's very good. You're very, very right on. Bang on. Thank you, David. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate the message. Okay, great. For David, for you, yeah, I still feel that there is this partner coming in as well too. I feel that there is somebody who's really going to represent that continual compliment to you, a support factor as well too. I do feel that again, I feel that she will be introduced to you in some way. I'm not too sure if it's something online or if it may be something in person, but I do get the feeling that it's kind of gravitating a lot closer to you on a lot more of a stronger level, day by day. So I do feel that there is an energy that's coming through. I feel that there's also something from your parents as well too that they want to share with you, but they're not too sure if they have the strength to share with you. I think that they're basically showing something in regards to a spiritual awakening that they're attempting to go through, and that they actually do need your help, but they don't really want to be imposing on it. So it feels like there's something in regards to an open heart-to-heart communication with your parents in regards to how things are going with them, and being able to know that you can step in and assist them because you're getting all this great knowledge from source. And you can actually be able to help them that way. But it feels like they want to share something with you, but they're almost kind of embarrassed to do it. So it might be something to look into.
Yeah, I totally feel that too with my parents. Totally. I also in the affirmation from today, I was going to do a kind of affirmation with my family. So I feel I'm going to talk with them, and about the partner is really cool because in this time of this month, I start to feel like really comfortable with myself, like really loving with myself. I create a romantic relationship with myself. I'm really comfortable with me. I feel really healthy.
That's the key.
So
That's how you attract the ideal partner, right? You have this self-relationship for yourself. You're feeling so good about yourself. Now your partner is coming along as a compliment from the universe and saying, you've treated yourself so well. Now this partner is going to be that compliment to showing you more of that loving support.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's going to be
Thank you.
So I attracted mine, right? So I went into self-relationship. I had this big 2.5 months, 3-month gap about really getting into loving myself, and it really helped, just being able to spark myself up. And for those 2.5 months, I said, no relationship. I'm just going to be focusing on me. And then, bam, she came along, right? So that's the key. When you really work on dating yourself, going on a nice romantic date with yourself, it's great. Happy yourself, treat yourself well. And the universe sees that and says, okay, here's a great complementary partner because you're showing so much about yourself. So I feel it almost like a love at first sight between you and her. So it'll be great.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anne, welcome back. Did you want to finish your thought before you kind of...
Basically, it's when you finally just release attachment to everything, then you're able to get in that state. And that's what I ended up doing, is getting to point, not that I didn't care, but I had intentions, you know, where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, although all the psychic stuff was coming in that I had to learn to integrate, and what was going on and so forth. But to move forward in that, this is so amazing to me, it became my passion, just like Brad talks about, this is all he wants to do. This really is all I do, kind of thing, in my life, my work, and so forth. And when I let go and I don't worry about the money, it actually comes flooding in, and I'll get a call from here, a call from there. You know, I made $1,000 yesterday just with the people all of a sudden calling, booking, you know, sessions and so forth. So you can watch that flow, and it's fun to play with. I'm in a position right now where I can kind of do this. My children are employed, you know, gainfully as adults, and I don't have a whole lot, you know, of stuff to worry about except for myself, and I don't worry about myself. So when you get to that point and it doesn't matter anymore, I even let my medical insurance go, just to go, okay, universe, you know, here we are, let's play with this. So it's almost like when you don't have anything else to lose, you go, okay, come play with me. Just come play, and let's see how much fun we can have. And literally, I am shocked sometimes at what happens and how things come together. So that's what's happened with me.
That's great, and you know that's the way it is. Like for me, I have no health insurance, I have no life insurance, and stuff like that. My insurance is nature itself, and I just know that, you know, I'll be healthy. I just know that I'm going to do well because I keep resonating that energy of health all over the place. Whether it's doing yoga, whether it's eating, whether it's going on travel, whatever it is, right? Just being able to do that, you know, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with that altogether at all. So sorry guys, I think I just heard a knock on the door. Let me just be a minute. Why don't we just go to Tamika? Does anybody have any type of message that you want to share for her? I'll just be right back.
Tamika, it's funny because I actually saw, when you were introducing yourself, I saw monkeys crawling around on your head. I think that means that you need to play, that the nature spirits, animal divas, or whatever are wanting you to just sit back and play a little bit and let some of the seriousness go.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. So did anybody have a reading for Tamika? Like anything you guys want to share? Sure.
I just said that I saw monkeys crawling around on her head when she was introducing herself. They were kind of playing and jumping around, grabbing at her hat like they were wanting to engage her to just lighten up and play a little bit.
Oh, that's sweet. That's well said. Very good. Very good. Anybody else have anything for Tamika? Again, she's a new student, so I just want to see if there's any good messages that we can feel for her. Tamika, I feel that you're kind of just, you're like this open orb, you know, everything is just really going to start happening for you. I feel that there's just a, you know, it's like looking at yourself as this crystal ball and you're about to be filled with all this energy. So it feels like you're just opening yourself up. It feels like all your chakra centers are really just able to, you know, absorb a lot of things. And I feel you're in absorption mode right now, right? So being able to feel all this energy as it's coming through in regards to everything that we're communicating with today, and that this is actually going to bring you into a lot of great inspiration to actually look into areas that you feel very personally excited about and being able to explore that a lot more. So I feel it's basically an absorber, kind of like, you know, moving into that kind of harmonious sponge energy, right? Being able to absorb all the energies about developing your psychic ability. I feel a lot of what you're going to be doing, though, Tamika, is healing. I feel that you're a very, very strong healer, and I feel that's something you're going to be working. I also feel there's like a counseling and a therapeutic energy within you. Yeah. So I feel that will be very strong with you. That's going to come eventually.
Yes, that is what I have been trying to figure out for the longest. And I want to share a quick story here if I can. Back when I was, I don't know, between the ages of 18 or 19, somewhere in there, I had just had my son, and I remember going through this period because I was raised as a Christian. And I remember this one day, I went outside and I was literally going back and forth like, and I would tell people it's something I'm supposed to be doing. And they would be like, well, yeah, We all supposed to be doing something. And I was like, no, no, no. It's something I supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be helping people, but I just don't know how. And at that time, with me being Christian and all and hearing about the devil, and it was just like I was in a really confused state. Like I was all over the place. And I realized that it took me asking the question. I had to push religion out the way. I had to push what everybody else was saying. I had to push everything out the way and go straight to source, which is something my religion say I can't do, well, at the time, that I couldn't do. But I said, forget that. No, I'm going straight. And I asked God, I said, I need you to send me someone who knows what they are talking about when it comes to you, because I'm just all over the place. If I smoked a cigarette, oh my God, I'm going to hell. If I cuss, oh my God, I'm going to hell. Oh my God, everything was, oh my God, I'm going to hell. And people just didn't understand me. Like I was going through a lot at that time trying to figure out. But okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting off. But Sylvia Brown was introduced to me through the TV. I was flipping through the channels, and I ended up reading some of her books. That's how I got into all of this. And I was just like, what? What? Now, wait a minute. Now, my religion say, somebody's lying. And it's like, what is the truth? But I'm starting to figure it out. I am starting to figure it out. And that's how I'm here. That's how I ended up here. And I am so glad to be here. And I'm taking everything in, and I'm steady thinking positive. Like I'm gonna grow from this. I'm gonna put my all into it. Me being scared, it's like the thought will come, I got to keep going. I have to keep going. I have to do this. And here I am.
There you go. That's great as well too, because that's the whole, that's kind of the continuity that brings you in that idea. And again, we're looking into the idea that shadows bring you into the light, right? So if you feel that, my shadow was big time religion, being a Jehovah's Witness, right? That was a huge shadow for me, and being able to look and being able to finally break through that as a teenager and saying, okay, this isn't for me. I'm not doing this anymore, because I was tired of it all. I was bored in those churches, right, in the Kingdom Halls, they call it, and I was falling asleep a lot of the time. I was never, and, it was basically just being raised into that type of religion. And as a kid, I thought this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, right? And I was a young kid, right? So I didn't really see too much in life, but I just thought this is ridiculous. Like people was giving their power away so much to this, guy in a suit, getting mad at you because you're playing with the door. I used to play with doors around a lot. So, open and close a door, and this guy would come up to you, oh, you shouldn't be opening and closing that door. Do you know that in the Bible it says this? I'm like, you're quoting the Bible verse for me opening a door, right? Stupid things like that, right? So it's things like that where I just got so turned off and said, no, this isn't for me, and I don't want nothing to do with it. And it was a revelation as well too. A lot of people will be disappointed if you stay in that old paradigm. But then you come into a new paradigm and you realize, oh my goodness, I come into this new paradigm. There's people who are actually so much accepting about what I do. I'm moving into an old life into a new life. It's like being a caterpillar, cocooning yourself, which is the transitional period, and then being born a butterfly. And that's why we're all here. We're just realizing that now it's time to cocoon ourselves. The cocoon is the transformation state. It's about transitioning from an old paradigm into a new paradigm. And once you finally reach that new paradigm, the cocoon cracks, the butterfly flies out. So that's why we're all here. And it's 11:11 a.m. right now. It's great. Good revelation. Seems to happen quite a bit. But that's, again, why we're all here and just being able to help each other out. So, again, thank you so much, Tamika, for sharing that. Does anybody else have any readings for anybody here in the open class? Gail, you've been pretty quiet. You feeling anything?
Yeah. Oh, okay, you can hear me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting something. I was just trying to like keep it on the download to try to hear what everybody wanted to share. I think I got a universal message though. I do have something for Tamika. Anne, you're off the charts grown. I mean, like, it's just incredible. And it's just incredible how you're trusting and letting the natural flow of energy go through you and trusting it. I'm getting confirmation, which I really love to get. And that's angels all around me just telling me, yeah, that's so. But just keep up the good work. You're doing
Thank you.
awesome.
I live in a different world, actually. This world I am in is not the normal world. And, I work with normal, so to speak, people every day, and I just say what I say, and it's not that I don't care what I say what comes through me, and then they accept it or not. Most of the time, though, they accept it because we're in a healing situation, and it's very interesting. It's interesting the results you get when you don't have any expectations as to how it's going to work out.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't even think you're the same woman that joined class. Like, you're completely different. So I don't know how you see that, but that's what Spirit's telling me.
Thank you.
I'm getting something for just all of us in general, that we're going on through another phase, and we're growing. We're all growing, but the energies are changing on the earth, and things are going to move more rapidly. I got for Tamika. Tamika, you have children. You have 3 children. You're muted. 2. You're muted. I can't hear you, Tamika.
Yeah, Tamika, your microphone's
I'm sorry.
Okay, you got 2
sorry.
kids? You
2,
said
a boy and a girl.
2 children. I feel like you've been
Yes.
overwhelmed lately with them, so you're going to change your schedule with them. I don't know why. Is there another kid that's coming over to the house?
No?
Okay, I
No.
don't know. I'm getting 3 children. I just assumed that there was somebody else coming over to the house.
Might be a channel of the spirit you're actually tuning into as well, too, guys.
Oh yeah, I never considered that. You need to get out and do different things with these children. You guys are in a rut, so you got to mix things
Yes.
up. I guess it has to do with the weather, but just mix things up. Do something you don't usually do. Blast the radio and start dancing. The kids are going to dance with you. Do something just crazy. Just do it. That's what Spirit's telling me. And Brad, Spirit says to tell you to move slowly and don't expect too much. Keep your mind open. Don't expect a whole bunch. I'm not saying this relationship isn't the one, but we don't want you relying too much on her ability, because like it becomes spiritual crack. Remember, we talked about that the other day, and it might influence some of the things that Spirit's trying to direct you in. So
Well,
be careful.
It's very interesting because when we've actually resonated very much with a lot of spiritual information, like a lot of the stuff that she's gotten, I've gotten in return as well too. So we're really on that really good level of balance. So I feel that is really well stable. But again, it's really just being able to be just be open to where the universe takes you. It's really always been that we create one day at a time and see how things go. Everything's gone really great and everything amazing. So, I felt that whatever she's given me, I've given her back. I felt that as well in return. So there's just been this pure 100% resonance as well. So, but no, I can see what Spirit is saying in certain ways. But right now, it's been heavenly.
Okay, and Sergio, your heart chakra. You're speaking the truth lately, Mister, because your heart and your throat and your root all beginning to blossom open. So I don't know if you've been coming to some realizations about the truth of who you are and what you expect, and you're not listening to the false truths that you used to listen to. But stay on this path because you're really opening up. And again, I'm getting validation. I love that.
Great, yeah. I'm realizing something every day.
Yeah, that's really good.
About it.
Somebody has a phone, right? Does anybody else have any? Yeah.
David is going to meet his Miss Wonderful. He's going to meet her soon. It's not going to take too long, and she's going to be on the same wavelength as you. You're going to be able to tell her stuff, and she's not going to think you're crazy, and that's going to feel good. So, Anne, with that cute little smile.
Well, I was just thinking of David because I was seeing watermelon tourmaline, that pink and green, coming from his heart chakra, the pink in the center and then the green radiating around it. I guess I missed any love interest you might be having going on, but as I was looking at you, I was just seeing that kind of blossoming out of your heart chakra. Pink watermelon tourmaline, maybe a good crystal for you.
Thank you, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yes. Any last comments?
With Tamika needs to work with crystals. She needs to get involved with crystals. I don't think she's doing anything with crystals right now, but you need to get involved in crystals. Just look around on the internet, see what resonates with you, learn something about them. It's not so much for the healing aspect of it. It's just that it's time for you to be introduced to crystals and their powerful energies that they carry, and they're just awesome. It's really neat. So
okay, I'll try that.
What I'm hearing from Spirit as well too, and it's just Gail, I should say, just remembering to ground, still continuing to do that as well. It's very, very important. I feel that you're flying very, very strongly in spirit as well too, but I feel that just remember that even though when you're flying, sometimes you have to remember to touch the ground, right? That's kind of what I'm feeling as well. You're getting a really great amount of information as well too, but it's just remember to land at times. Remember to soak in the soil, really be able to feel that energy around you and just connect with that energy as well too. So again, really good transformations taking place, but remember, let yourself anchor.
Yeah. Okay, so Lissa, I also got a message for Lissa. I think things in the home front are really starting to look up. It's not bothering you as much as it did. It's settling down. You have more time to focus on your gifts. And Spirit really likes that you're making these mandalas. So that's really cool. You have a lot to offer there. So keep up the good work.
Oh, guys, my girlfriend has actually just arrived. You want to say hi?
Uh-huh.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, what's her name?
I'm Tia.
Tia, yeah, T-I-A.
T-I-A. Hi, Tia. I'm Gail. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Gail.
Hi, Tia. I'm Ann.
Hello.
Hi, I'm David.
Hi, David.
Sergey. Hi.
Melissa.
Tia, take good care of our mentor, my dear. Be
Don't
kind
keep
and
him up too
gentle.
late. We need him to get up and teach class.
Nice to meet you.
I see it wants to finish the comment class and see if she can do the class as well too. That'd be great. But no, this is great, guys. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. So again, we do have class tomorrow for a full 2 hours, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, same time. And again, next week we'll be moving into any meeting. So I'll be throughout the week just giving you guys information about how to utilize that program as well too. Be a lot more of a benefit. We'll have a lot of audio capabilities on the left-hand side of the screen, and you just basically, I think you can have up to 6 video users at the same time. So we'll basically just take turns, basically being able to shift video in and out, which is good because we only need video like during conversation time anyways. So, but again, more of that information will be coming later this week. So again, thank you everybody for a great class today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and talk to you those who are going to be tomorrow. Talk to you then. Much love. Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Take care.